Hey guys, Thomas from Team Sakuraso here. Come at you guys with a 5-card tab in your trade binder for February. I know this episode is extremely late. This is supposed to be January's episode, but in today's 5-card tab in your trade binder, we will be discussing cards to get for next format early ahead of the curve, cards for older formats, and cards to get before they spike under people's noses. So guys, enjoy this kind of video. Make sure to smash that like button. 120 likes. I'll do another episode within 2 weeks. Subscribe if you've not already. If you're buying anything on TCG Player, please buy the link down in the description below. Helps out the channel to know just cost. So you want to get some awesome Yu-Gi-Oh merch, check out Tapio Cards. Use code SAKI for 5% off. And check out my sponsor, Whatnot, because if you sign up using my affiliate link, you get $15 off your next purchase. You can get stuff for not just Yu-Gi-Oh, but other card games and stuff as well. So, and thank you to my YouTube channel members. If you guys want to support the channel so I can get better equipment, because that's a big goal this year, is upgrading my camera and my other equipment, because my camera was quite old when I got it, and I think I got it in 2018. So consider doing that if you want to support the channel, and we're just going to get right into it here. So the first card I have here is actually kind of a 2-card. So it's a 6-card tab in your trade binder technically, and that is Fire and Ice Hand. Now, one format that is becoming very popular is hat format, and the hands are a staple, even though there are discussions of the hands not being as great as people thought they were back in that format. During that format's time, you used to see hands run in everything, and some people might not be familiar with these cards, so I'm going to explain what they do. Basically, when fire is destroyed, you target a monster, pop it, and then if you do pop that monster, you special summon ice. And ice does the same thing, but for back row, right? And then you summon Fire Hand, right? Basically, these cards were able to trade for free, thin out the deck. People used to crash them for removal. It was essentially, in a way, almost like a board breaker that took your normal summon. And these cards were so good that people who would rather have their normal summons on something, archetype specific, would run hands, because sometimes just setting a hand and seeing it go off is just so good. And people used to outplay with, because it had to pop a monster, or had to pop a spell trap, depending if it's Fire or Ice Hand. And again, people are going to want a playset of these secret rares from Dragons of Legend. If you guys don't know, that's a very popular set, by the way. For those who don't know, now the secret rares, I suggest getting a 3 of each for you to play, although getting 6 per copy is not a bad idea as well. So I would get those while you can. Right now, the Fire Hands are about $2. The Ice Hands almost following suit to $2. You get some for like a little cheaper here and all that. But I would get those cards while you can, at least a playset of each. But if you want to get 6 of each, just to be sure of the secret rares, since they are highest rarity, that as well. But if you guys want to skip this one, I mean, there are commons for bulk, although if hat format does spike up, you will probably even see the commons going up to $1. And the secret rares are very hard to get, since the set it came out of is very popular. So get those cards while you can. Now, the second card I have here actually is Skullmeister Secret Rare. Now, I have this rule, and I think a lot of you know it, where I say get hand traps while they're not seeing play. Although, in this instance, Skullmeister is seeing a bit of play. If Ghost Bell is good, people are going to consider Skullmeister, because while running Skullmeister is not exactly 6 Ghost Bells, it's still pretty good disruption. And the reason I'm telling you guys to get Skullmeister's Secret Rares is because I don't think it's a popular enough hand trap for Konami to put it in 25th. Now, it is not impossible here, but just because it's not impossible doesn't mean, the possibility is not high. I think it's a low risk, high reward, especially because Star Strike Blast is a very rare set. There wasn't that much printed, and it was very hard to get after its initial run, even in like early Zexal era, where these 5D boxes were still accessible if you really wanted them. You might have to pay a little more for the sealed, but they were still around. Star Strike Blast was something that was very hard to get. And these secret rares are very valuable. The original prints of a lot of these cards are worth quite a bit of money. And that set still needs reprints, believe it or not. I'm looking at the Karakara rares specifically, and just a lot of other stuff. But point is, Skullmeister's original secret rares are about 15, 16, going upwards to $20-ish very, very quickly. And $20-ish are quite low for what this card is, because I remember this card being, 30, 35, 40. But the CRs really took it down a notch. And this is a good card against certain decks like that play like transaction rollback, and it could be a very good, hand trap to play. I would get the OG Seekers while you can, because it's definitely a card that I think is being underutilized right now. And if you're looking to, again, invest into some of these cards that are safer from 25th, I think this most likely is safer than 25th. The third card I have here is actually Verte Anaconda, ultra rare from Dual Overlord. And I know a lot of you are probably thinking, Saki, do you really think this card could come back? Be real. And to that, I say the best way to look at banned cards and just the ban list in general is look at it as a when, not and if it could come back, because there's a lot of cards people thought could never come back that have come back. Konami will bring back cards that are unexpected or way faster than what people thought. Like, let's say they hit something they thought was a bad, they would bring it back. I know they put Desires to 2, then put it to 3 like real quick. That was one example. And so the best way, as well as banned cards, are the only cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! That don't really get reprinted. The only real exceptions to that, if you even want to call it exceptions, is when they re-released sealed boxes of like OG sets, like Metal Raiders, all that. There were some of the banned cards in there, but it wasn't even the high rarity. It was just base commons that weren't even worth much to begin with. Except for like maybe Trap Duster, I guess, was a cool common reprint if it was even there. But point is that banned cards don't get reprinted. And Verte Anaconda right now is about $1.50, $2. And I've been looking at the ultras and the listings on TCG Player as well as a few other sites. And while this card is still available and accessible, it's getting quite a bit of sales. And I think that as it gets more and more sales and the listings start going down, people are going to be like, why is this card now $4 or $5 back again? Because it does quickly go up to about a $5, $6 card. And if Konami ever decides to bring this back, or even if there's like a rumor of, hey, this card could come back, or, oh, they're doing some plan support, maybe they'll bring back Verte Anaconda, which that's not going to happen in my opinion. But again, you never know. Konami doesn't like to bring back cards for other archetypes they're giving support to. So look at Magic Specters. We still have Kieran banned, even though you would think with Phantom Nightmare they would bring Kieran back. Maybe they do on the next list, maybe they don't. But point is that you should be getting these banned cards while they're cheap, because they are most likely very, very safe from reprints. And some of these cards, especially if they're played in older formats, which Verte Anaconda, I don't think that there are formats popular enough with Verte for people to go back to, but you never really know what's going to be popular. I mean, I never expected hat format to be popular. In my personal opinion, I think that is in the lower half of Zexal formats. Maybe it's around the middle possibly, but I was never extremely fond of it. But here we are. Look what format pops off, and look at the BIOS that's cost. You never know what's going to be the next big format that's not, a tier 0 format that people want to revisit. So that's another thing going for Verte Anaconda. Now, the fourth card I have here is Linkuriboh from Jump. Now, this is the highest rarity of Linkuriboh we have. And I'm going to make this one short and sweet. We all know how this is abusable in a lot of decks, including Snake Eyes, which, Fire is the best deck this format by far. People are calling it a mini tier 0 format. But we're seeing Gold Rares at 7 or 8. And I'm seeing Ultras from like Power, Dual Overlord, one of the two. I think it was Dual Power. Linkuriboh got another print, as well as like the calendar versions being like $10. And I'm not sure why these reprint ultras are holding 10s and these rares and commons are holding 7 to 8 when we have the Jump right now at like $13. That makes no sense to me. I think that if you guys have spare ultras or commons or rares, you should be upgrading to the Jump versions, because there's no reason that people should be paying an extraordinary amount of money for that. And I think that as people want more and more Linkuribohs, regardless of how people feel of what is the best rarity, or if they just want low rarity just to play the card, the Jump cards will go up. We've seen Jump promo buyouts quite a bit, and I think that it could easily go to a $20, $25 card by far. This is more of a PSA slot of, if you don't have Jump Kuribohs, go get them. I've always talked about them at $7. In fact, I think they may have even been on a 5-card to have in your trade binder a while ago in the past. But yeah, $13 is quite cheap. I would definitely go grab those while you can. And even if they get banned, they'll still be the highest rarity. People will still speculate, oh, maybe Linkuriboh could come back because they hit Fire in this way. Because people are considering it as a balanced card, for it to get hit in the next ban list. So there's a little bit of risk here. I want to tell people that as well. I think that Lee Carrillo being hit would possibly make sense, but you never know. So the last card I have here is actually Infernal Flame Banshee here. Now, Infernal Flame Banshee, if you guys don't know what this card does, is an ultra from Agov, where it either adds or sends a Pyro, and if it is banished and you control Pyro, you special summon it and it gains attack based on the banished Pyro monster, but like honestly, that's not gonna really come up. You're mostly using it for an extra body on the board. Hello, how are you? You're using it as an extra body on the board. This is Cosmo, by the way. He's a fat cat. Yes, he is. But basically, using it as an extra combo piece. Ashen, which is a TCG exclusive, already has combos with this card, and I believe that when we get the more support for Ashen, which TCG exclusives always do, look at Tistana. I told people to get their Tistana cards when they were dirt cheap, and then we saw that it skyrocket, and then we saw it crash right down because Konami didn't make the best support for it. But hey, it was up there for quite a long time before it went back down to its original prices. Although Ashen is a lot better than Tistana, and I think that if Konami gives it good support, we're going to see a lot of the Ashen cards go up. So this is also a PSA for Ashen. Hey, if you don't have your Ashen cards, I would get them while you can. When I told people to get the Ultra Priestess at about 4 or 5, they're already 7 or 8. But I think that also this could be played in Fire. So it's not just because of, hey, Ashen can use it, they get more support, Infernal Banshee has more of a demand, there it goes. But we're still in the year of Fire, and I think that Konami is going to do some stuff to Snake Eye. And I think there could be a possibility or a certain way of, hey, they're going to hit this, maybe there's a new line, right? Or maybe people will play Snake Eyes Ashen, and there's lines with Banshee, right? That is a possibility when we get the new Ashen support here. So this is a great Fire card that, while it has lines already, it has not, and has gotten better. It's not quite up there, but still has the room to grow. We have Ultra Rares right now around $2.50. When I was going to release this, they were around $1-ish, so they have already started going up. So I guess I should release this faster, but they're still quite cheap now. It is an Agov Ultra, and Agov is an extinct set, so this card could easily go up to $4, $5, $6 naturally just from hype. So I would get yours while you can. Now I will talk about the quarter century here, but if you guys have not smashed that like button, please go ahead and like the video. Subscribe if you've not already. I'm trying to hit 5,000 subs by the end of June because the goal is about 5,500 to 6,000. Hoping more towards 6,000, but hey, it's tough out here, right? I think we're at 4,700 subs, or at least I hope we're at 4,700 subs. So subscribe if you've not already. And getting back to it here, quarter century, it's about $40 roughly here. We've seen it at 30s. I've told people, hey, at $30 it's really good. We've seen it spike all the way up to 50s. I said, hey, 50s I still think is a bit cheap for this, but I think it's natural growth. And right now it's calmed down to about $40, $42. I think if you want a quarter century Banshee, definitely go grab it, but you do have a bit of time to get it. And but again, this card again could spike to $70, $80, $90, $100. I think if you could get one cheaper than market price, absolutely get on it. But if you have to, let's just say you want to just buy online, be done with it, $40 to $42 is not bad. I mean, this is not a card that I assume they're going to reprint in higher rarity at some point because, again, quarter centuries aren't safe. I don't think this is a card that's really going to fall under that, as well as since Agov Sealed is so much money with boxes being $150 right now, I think that $40, it is good to get the quarter centuries, but that is a big gamble. I think Ultras are pretty good to grab, while as the quarter centuries are, again, a bit of a gamble, but if you want to grab a set, see where it goes, I definitely think that it is kind of a medium-ish risk to a high reward, maybe a little lower than medium, but it's not a low risk. That's how I'm going to see it. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think about these picks in the comment section below. What are some other cards you think are great to grab? I'm glad I got this video out of the way because I've actually wanted to write the next one quite fast. So